and it is Thursday, November 16th, 2023. And we have exactly 25 minutes, y'all. We have exactly 25 minutes. If you haven't, go grab your smoke and a pancake, box of kind herb, roller. Oh my god, did you see that? This is what I mean. I need a new buddy box. You guys, it just fucking fell and showered me in keef. Maybe that's a good thing. I just, made it rain on me. Today's been unpredictable, off the hinges, and beyond my control. And I have to be okay with it because I asked for it. But I had a really good day, and I'm really in my element. And I can feel some really good things coming and brewing, and I'm excited for it. I'm genuinely excited. Spark her up. You know what's funny is I put my hand in front of this like there's going to be wind down here. There's not. There absolutely won't be. This morning when I woke up, I could have swore things felt a little bit different, and that they were going to be a little different. My husband came home yesterday with a certain level of confidence and knowing that I have never seen before. And I had no choice to be like, I agree. Because the energy just zoop with what I was saying and thinking in my brain hole. So I'm not going to speak on it because I don't like to speak on my personal things. And that is my new leaf is I'm not going to speak on things until things are done. But I am super excited for what 2024 is going to bring. I've been sitting here staring at 2024's calendar like, come on with it. I have some new things planned this year coming forward with the business, with Healing Fae, LLC.com. We are going to make a couple new products, I believe. We're going to have another shipment going out to North Carolina, which I'm very grateful for. My girl Becky, she's always got my back. I had a really good sesh with a friend over video chat today. He was going through some stuff and just needed a little bit of guidance into the right direction, and not even guidance because he knew exactly where he needed to be and what he needs to do. He just needs to trust that voice inside of his head. You hear me, bitch? Which kind of brings me to my point. I get on here and I talk about being positive and not putting the shirt on that fucking other people give you and everything like that. So, recent things have popped up, and my dear friend, he's had some things pop off in his life, and recently he's been in the kind of the limelight of things, and with talking with him today, there was a certain, I'm not going to name who it is or put it on there because I don't want no one saying nothing to this creator, because first of all, this creator is only fucking mediocre as it is, alright? So we're not even going to call it as it is, because here's the thing. My friend was a fan of this creator and thought this creator was funny, and I feel like this creator let him down because the amount of material she had in front of her to be funny, comedic about it, she chose to be hurtful. Like, not even like good hurtful. Okay, the type that makes you go ooh. Like, bitch, if you're gonna do like a piece on somebody who's in the news, why don't you do a little research so you can get to know the person? Not even get to know the person so you can have a different bias, but get to know the person so you're not just like watching one clip of that person and drawing your conclusions. Because if people want to, they can go and look him up now, and because of your content, so they'll realize that the picture you painted up just makes you look like you do sloppy work. Like, do you not care about your fans and your watchers and your followers enough to do the research? And then you're gonna do a story on one of your own fucking followers. How do you do a story on one of your own followers and slam them in the dumbest way possible? Like, bitch, you weren't even original. The penguin guy did a better job than you did, and he wasn't even trying, and you were obviously trying. So I think that was kind of crazy, and that's the other side of this. What I mean by putting this shirt on, this person liked this other person, and this person unknowingly handed the shirt to somebody that supported them, and the shirt was fucking hideous, and the shirt was fucking sloppily made, and you could tell they didn't take no time on it, and all of the shit, so you absolutely can't take somebody's first attempt. When the content looks mediocre and it's meant to like make your feelings hurt, bitch, you gotta try harder. Come on. I'm worth at least a decent fucking bash. Come on, what's wrong with you? But yeah, kind of just like and I had to tell him, like, and I told him exactly that, like, okay, as somebody who likes to create content, somebody who watches this type of content, somebody who and now I don't invite negative content. I don't watch, first of all, I do not watch content where there's violence and fighting, husbands and boyfriends pulling pranks or vice versa, anything that's harmful towards children. I don't do any of that kind of stuff. I don't like that type of content, so I don't invite it. But this particular content creator I had watched for their silly little makeup tutorials and their 90s memorabilia repertoires, okay, with their tiny hands. If you're watching, you might know exactly who I'm talking about. So, tiny hands. Fucking dumbass. Sorry, that's a little personal dig. But yeah, so I had to actually put some of my teachings and the things I have learned and pass them on to my friend too, so that way he didn't put this fucking ugly ass, no effort shirt on that this fucking content creator created. And he asked me, he says, well, don't they realize that they're being hurtful to people? And then I'm like, here's the thing about it. This content was paid, had a paid sponsorship on it. They were selling earbuds, I believe it was, and they need that money. So anything that they can do to get that money to pay for that fucking sponsorship, you know what I mean, to keep that money rolling, you know what I'm saying? Like, they had to make sure they got enough clicks on it. And nothing clicks better than either sex, violence, or stupidity. It's really an American thing. Well, it's an all over thing, but Americans like dumbass fucking content, and that is. You can go and look at some of the most intelligent shit on here and look at the views and likes compared to something dumb, and it's exponentially fucking different, like night and day. But it's okay, because those of us who are meant to receive the higher blessings in life, we're going to. Those who are meant to receive the blessings of just this dimension are going to. You know what I mean? You got to kind of ask yourself, where do you want to receive your blessings from? Do you want it from just this third, fourth dimensional fucking level of, what is that? Monetary shit. You know what I'm saying? Belongings and shit. Is that the type of blessings that you want? Or do you want something a little bit more fulfilling of the heart and of the mind? And he's a very sweet guy, and I could tell it kind of got to him a little bit, but hopefully I was able to talk to him. I mean, I can't tell him to ignore it, because it's very much in the public, and the only thing I can tell him to do is the coverage of that content, the person that she's speaking of, even though there's an actual picture of him, which is fucked up. Even the picture, the person that she's talking about, that she has created to fit that picture that she has of you, that's not who you are. You are not that you are not that person. Yes, this thing might have happened to you, but the character that she's created, that she's talking about, that's not you. So you don't even have to insert yourself. And anybody that truly understands and knows you on a real level, they're going to know the difference. And anybody else who gravitates it and thinks, oh, what a stupid guy, or something like that, those people don't even exist to you anyway, so what the fuck does it matter? They can exist out somewhere in the world, but until you make them real to you in your world, they don't exist. That's the beautiful part. You can limit the access that people have to you, and in turn be able to protect yourself. You can go ahead when you're trying to not put the shirt on and you catch yourself like, oh man, what the fuck? Why would they say that? You have to then switch yourself and be like, so like you have to catch yourself when you start to slip with your mind thoughts. It's all starts with your thought patterns, okay? You see the shit's triggering you to think like, what the fuck, why would somebody do that, da da da. When you catch yourself, you gotta be like, of course they're gonna talk about me. They don't really have much else to talk about. um Anybody can create the story in their head, their version of it. Fuck them. You know what I mean? And you have to like actively, like seriously, even if you have to say it out loud in the fucking mirror after you've had the thought, the bad negative self thought, you have to then go in the mirror, even if you need to go in the mirror, because eventually you won't have to keep going in the mirror, and be like, yeah, of course they're going to talk about me. This and this happened to me. Okay, of course I gave them something to talk about because they are doing this and this with their shit, you know. And this is how you don't put the shirt on from everybody and anything that's going on in your world. So by actively catching yourself either in mid thought, afterthought, you, to be honest, in the beginning you're gonna shoot for afterthought. Like, have the thought, cool, it pops in your head, the negative self thought, then out loud say something. Eventually, over time, and you got to do this every time. I don't give a fuck where you are because we don't care what people think. We're going to be our own cheerleader. So, like, after a while of actively talking to yourself after you've had a negative self-talk or self-thought, eventually you'll be able to stop yourself in mid-thought and redirect it. And then eventually the thought won't even develop in your head. Eventually you'll see a problem and think of the breakdown, like, oh, this happened, okay, you know what I mean, it's just a situation, it doesn't actually physically affect me, da da da, and you can run through it and have it not actually become part of your emotional mental makeup. Because if you make it part of your emotion, if you see it, you think the negative, and you let yourself feel in the negative, and it'll make you feel bad, you're gonna set yourself back into that negative self flow again. But once you have the thought, correct yourself, you'll notice a feeling that goes from here to here, and it connects in a different way, and it'll make you feel better, even if it's only for a second in the beginning, because we're building a muscle, remember? So even if it's, yeah, you guys, I've been doing this for years of lying to myself until eventually I bought my shit, because I had years of what I called lying to myself. I would physically lie to myself because I would wake up in the morning like, oh my god, my body hurts. So what I started doing was waking up and saying, well, I can still feel that. Cool. And get up the same way I did. It literally was going from saying one thing to another thing, and then eventually I woke up and I'm like, oh, hi, twinge in my back. Hey, hip. Sciatica, my old friend. Here we go. You ready, bitches? I will physically name them and talk to them like I'm Snow White and the Seven fucking Dwarfs. That's what it takes. How do you reteach yourself habits? The habits were taught that you already have not worked for you, or you wouldn't be here. Okay? If the habits you already had were working, you would not be here. So, with that being said, let's light this fucking doobie up, because it is taking me forever to get this out. Nope, you really have to become so uncomfortable with your own shit that you can't bite on it no more. That you can't digest it no more. And there's got to be something else. Always trust your inner self. Now, I'm going to say Source has things to tell you and messages for you that are meant to uplift you. All of that fiery brimstone type of shit, you're going to hell for being a this way, being a that way, doing a this, doing a that. And I'm not, disclaimer, not talking about like, the really bad kind of like shit that people in this world have done. All right, we ain't talking about the extremes here. We're talking about people wanting to genuinely be good people. I'm not talking about a psycho wanting to turn into fucking Mary Poppins here. This isn't what we're talking about. Jason is not going to come over one day and say, oh, I want to be where the people are. I want to see him living. He's not going to do that. So this is not what we're talking about, okay? I'm talking about you and me, how we want to be where the people are that are living and thriving. We want to see him laughing, strolling along down the, what's that word again? Beat, where we connect, where we can love, where we can grow all of the great bud. That's where we want to fucking be, is part of that world. Okay? Sorry, you're welcome for that little parody. Sometimes it just pops out of me. But that's what I mean. It literally takes doing active physical things differently than you normally would, because if you don't change your thought, change your action, change your view, change your thinking, change your speaking, change your friends, like I'm not dude, everything you have done up until this point got you here. What the hell do you have to lose by fucking giving it up? It's easy to stay here, but you're not happy. So it's obviously not that easy, because if it was easy, you would like it. So obviously, since you don't like it, your inner self is resonating and telling you to get the fuck out. There's gotta be more, because there is more. There fucking is more out there, and I swear to God there is. It is worth throwing out the handbook that you were given by a bunch of dysfunctional people who didn't have the knowledge, because I guarantee if they could come back and tell us, they would tell us to throw it the fuck away. Our loved ones, after they've passed, they don't want us unhappy here, you guys. They want us to be happy. And even some of the more shittier people, after they have passed, agree that they were not right here. I don't expect you to believe me or whatever. But, dude, I'm telling you, like, I have had a family member who's since passed, and I will not tap in. I have tapped around, but I do know, does that spirit feel bad? No. Why I expect the spirit to feel bad? They don't feel bad, but they did admit that they were wrong. And I needed that to be able, that message delivered to me to be able to change who I was. Because, dude, this is what I mean. Like, there's always a deep down inner trauma that somebody did that switched the switch for you. And now we have to go back and unswitch the switch. That's why we have to go into ourselves. That's why when it's important, when we get to our lowest and obstacles to keep coming our way and things keep standing in our way and we keep doubting ourselves, that's when it's most important to dive into ourselves. Remove all of the distraction, all of the noise, all of the bullshit, and just dive into yourself. You have to have faith in something. And if you can't believe in God and you can't believe in the universe, at least believe in yourself. Nobody's told you. You can do anything you want to do. I believe in you. Manifestation is real. It's not like in the sense of, oh, I'm going to manifest a car like that. I mean, I'm sure you can. I haven't. But manifesting is I want to be a happier person. I want to be a more stable person. I don't want that shit to bother me no more. It's getting to that point. It's getting so sick of your shit that you can't live with it no more and you have to clean it up. Because how many years do we keep buying into the same shit that obviously doesn't work? You know what I mean? Because we were told to. Well, bitch, if it was right, you would feel great. Do you? Take a sip of the water. You do not have to accept every fucking shitty handmade t-shirt that's given to you. Bitch, it ain't your color. Don't put that shit on. They didn't even make it right for you. It's not even the right size. So don't even try to put that on. Don't claim ownership to that. Okay? First and foremost. Just know. You be so powerful. It's a powerful feeling when someone says, oh, you're a dumb fucking asshole. No. Your mother. Say that to the next time somebody says something to you. Whether you get hit in the mouth, that's up to you. That's a whole other fucking thing. But I would your mother somebody up and motherfucking down and take the pop to the mouth and to sit there and put the fucking shit on. Like, you're right. Your mother. Because you're not that. You're only that if you allow yourself to be that. You're not a unicorn, bitch, unless you want to be. And you have to trust yourself. You, inside here and here, you're not going to hurt this. When this and this are met up, you're not going to hurt this. When you finally realize that you are your own mother, your own father, your own sister, your own brother, your own friend, like you are all of that. Once you realize that, like really wholeheartedly without effort, and it takes some time and years and effort and working on self to get there, but it is achievable. Once you're there, like there will be people out there, like, because there's others out there going through exactly what you're going through, trying to better themselves, trying to grow themselves, trying to elevate themselves. And every time we try to elevate ourselves, our light beacon gets a little bit bigger. So it's almost like a really fucking smoggy, foggy, like, sea of people, right? And it's all smog and fog and it's dark. Nobody can see anybody. But every once in a while, you catch a glimpse of, was that a fucking light? Was that a fucking light? And you keep going towards it, like trying to grab it for it. Well, what those lights is, as we elevate and lift ourselves up out the darkness, out the bullshit, our lights become brighter. So therefore, other people who are out there trying to grow their light can come and find us. Do you know what I'm saying? And then we can together light the path of everybody and shine the light on the fucking darkness and rebuke that fucking shit from ourself, our atmosphere, our unit that we are trying to create here, because we are ultimately one love. And with that, go out there and read a book. Go out there and do something good for yourself. Be good to yourself. And if nobody's told you yet today, I love you. And as always, if we know better, we do better. I love you guys.